When I came into this race, I was thinking it's just going to be typical Martinsville. Probably the race would probably be a little bit better from the spring. And I was right. I was right about that part. This race was, as a whole, still not all that good. But that ending was holy shit! What the fuck? What happened? Hey guys, NASCAR Mobile 48 back again, back to another episode of NRR. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the 2022 Xfinity 500 from the famed Martinsville Speedway. Oh my god, this race already so much better than the one in the spring. Alright, the racing was a little bit better, a little bit more competitive and stuff, probably because it's the final race again in the Championship 4. But the racing was better as a whole. It still wasn't all that good, so I still think we do need some adjustments, but that ending was absolutely insane. Because if you remember in past NASCAR races, or just the NASCAR seasons overall, when drivers try to pull out the video game move, like Carl Edwards at Kansas, and then Kyle Larson just last year at Darlington, and you've had other video game moves that just look good but did not work. This one actually pulled off and worked for Ross Chastain. I know the camera's crooked, but I've been freaking out. What a race. So let's just go ahead and get started. We're going to look at our top 10 finishers. We're going to rate the race. There's not really a biggest story of the race. Well, we'll probably go a little bit more in depth of Ross Chastain freaking his move. Well, I might do that. If not, I'll probably just talk about it when we get to Chastain. He finished 5th. And then after that, we'll look at our drivers of the day and look at our 4 drivers who will compete for a NASCAR Cup Series Championship next weekend at Phoenix. Let's go ahead and dive on into this video. Holy cow. Finishing in first was Christopher Bell. What a win for Christopher Bell. He'll get it done here today at the Paperclip in Martinsville. 4th career win, his 3rd of 2022. Also something that was overlooked, his 200th win for JGR. 200 wins for JGR in the NASCAR Cup Series. What a milestone for them. Something that was definitely overlooked because of the whole Chastain video game moment, Banana Palooza, whatever you call it, and stuff. But what a way for Christopher Bell to get it done. Moves his way into his first Championship 4 appearance. And if you think about it, now Hamlin has not made the Championship 4, so no Hamlin, no Kyle Busch, no Truex. It's all Christopher Bell, the young gun himself. What a win it was. I mean, he's just come in clutch in these last 2 rounds. Won his way into the round of 8 by winning at the Roval, and then does it again to get here at Martinsville to get his way into his first Championship 4 appearance. You just cannot believe that. But for Christopher Bell, it wasn't really a good day to start off, in my opinion. Stage 1, Stage 2, well, mostly Stage 1, he was kind of non-existent. Stage 2, he was kind of moving up the ranks. He was kind of getting some points here and there. But Stage 3 is where he started to take off. He was able to get the lead after Hamlin was losing spots on pit road. And so after that caution came out, Bell was in the lead for most of that race. He was really charging, making a hard charge up there. And then once we had that final restart, Briscoe was starting to drive away. Keselowski and Bell were on the move, and Bell moved to Briscoe, and Bell was pulling away, and he was able to get the win here today. What a win it was for Christopher Bell. Congrats to him and the number 20 team. They'll be able to compete for a NASCAR Cup Series title next week at Phoenix. Not sure about Christopher Bell's track record at Phoenix, but hopefully he can get the job done next weekend. Finishing in P2 was the pole sitter Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson also had a really good day today. Definitely looked like one of the strongest cars to start off with. He won the pole, but then Elliott was able to get by Larson. Larson was starting to struggle a little bit as he was getting stuck on the outside line and was not able to defend his position. So he kind of fell back after that early portion in Stage 1. And after that, I haven't really seen Kyle Larson be much of a factor later in the race. But until we got really late into the race, he was part of that hard charging drivers like with Briscoe and Keselowski and Bell trying to get up to Chase Briscoe and Cole Custer, and Larson was just moving drivers out of the way. I wouldn't be surprised if he was pissing off Brad Keselowski a little bit and stuff, but he moved Keselowski out of the way, and then Keselowski had like a tire rub and he lost a lot of spots, but Larson was still up there trying to fight his way through by Briscoe and Custer. Just was not enough to catch Christopher Bell. So it does suck for Kyle Larson trying to go for 2 wins in a row, but still a nice fight, a nice finish for the 5 team. Finishing in third was Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney needed to win here today after having 2 mistakes in the last 2 races at Vegas and Homestead. He was almost in the lead at one point. He was challenging against Christopher Bell, but just was not enough in the end to get it done. Had to win. Does suck for Ryan Blaney, trying to still make his first Championship 4 appearance. He's been really good in the round of 8, just was not able to do it. Does suck for him and his race team after having the unfortunate things going their way in the last 2 races coming, because Homestead was definitely all Ryan Blaney, and then Vegas, the car was just bad. So does suck for Ryan Blaney right there, and the car wasn't really all that good today because they had some issues pretty early where his car was feeling like a little bit on the tight side, so they had to make adjustments throughout the entire race, and just was not enough for Blaney to be able to get the win. I mean, I'm pretty sure he led a few laps and was like right behind Christopher Bell at one point, just was not enough. So it does suck for Blaney and the 12 team. Let's see if they can at least get a win in 2022 next week. Finishing in fourth was Brad K. Oh my goodness. Brad Keselowski was so close. Back-to-back top 5 finishes for the 6 team, but man, first I just want to say, him, RFK, and colleague, in my opinion, are poised to really go out next season. So I cannot wait to watch both teams make stellar performances next year. Hopefully they do. But back to Brad Keselowski. What a day it was. I mean, literally after stage 1, it was just a great run for Brad Keselowski. He was running up there in the top 5. Literally got in there in the top 3 at one point, and he was, oh man, he was going at it. And literally after Briscoe got the lead, Keselowski was trying to challenge, and then you also had Hamlin and Chastain going at it behind him, and Keselowski and Bell were making contact. Keselowski had another run-in with like Chastain. Chastain literally spun him out, but then later Keselowski was still able to fight up there. Like I said, him and Bell made contact. Him and Larson made contact, and I believe the contact between Keselowski and Larson, or maybe it was Bell, that Keselowski had a bit of a tire rev, and he lost spots, and that was a position that Hamlin was able to take away from Brad Keselowski, so that was good for Hamlin until we saw Chastain flying out of nowhere. But a nice strong run for Brad Keselowski. Definitely frustrating. He was definitely on the move. He was up to P2, almost had the lead, just was not enough. I was really rooting for him to get the win here, but it sucks. They still have Phoenix next week, but I think this team should be really focusing on 2023 because they are definitely going to exceed expectations that we were supposed to see from 2022. Next up, rounding out the top 5, we got the boy, the man of the hour, Ross Chastain, pulling off one of the best finishes I've ever seen in NASCAR history. You don't see crap like that. Literally, it just all starts off like this. Chastain qualified pretty decently. His car was just not as strong as drivers like Denny Hamlin, so it was a little bit of a struggle for him. And then I'm pretty sure earlier in the final stage, Chastain overdrove the corner, took out Brad Keselowski, so that was a little bit of a mistake right there. But Chastain was still trying to challenge up there. Him and Hamlin were going at it after the final restart. They were both bumping each other back respectfully, and then Hamlin just got by, and Chastain was trying to hold position from Harrison Burton. He passed Elliott, he passed another driver, just was not enough since Hamlin was making up spots. Then later, down the backstretch on the final lap, Chastain just rode the wall, full on sent it like we usually do in NASCAR Heat 5. I would say NASCAR 21 Ignition, but that game is literally unplayable. Anyway, he full on just rode the wall, and just like in past NASCAR games, like he even said NASCAR the game like 2005, instead of just full on sent it, rode the wall, goes from 10th all the way to 5th, literally ran into the back of Keselowski. Keselowski finishes 4th, he finishes 5th, Hamlin gets 6th. What an unbelievable turn of events. And apparently that was the fastest lap of the weekend. That was 2 seconds faster than Christopher Bell's pole winning, no, not Christopher Bell, but Kyle Larson's pole winning lap. Or no, it was probably Christopher Bell of the race. I'm not sure. Whoever had the fast lap of the race, Chastain beat that. Unbelievable. You do not see video game move work, because you saw Carl Edwards and Kyle Larson, their video games never work, but this one actually did. And to get into the championship 4, what a run for Ross Chastain. I can see why Justin Marks picked him, because you know, when Chip Ganassi left, they left 2 open drivers, Kurt Busch and Chastain. Really surprised to hear that Kurt Busch wasn't the first pick. The first pick was Ross Chastain, and I could finally see why they did that. Chastain is the man to do it. He just executed perfectly. I mean, he nearly executed perfectly in the Indy Road Course race, taking the access road, but what a drive, what a way to do it. Congrats to Ross Chastain. edging out Denny Hamlin right there and making to his first championship 4 appearance just like Christopher Bell. And then watch out for Chastain at Phoenix, because literally, if he made it to Phoenix, he's a driver to watch out for, because you saw his Phoenix race from earlier this year. Him, Reddick, and Briscoe were all going at it. Chastain finished ahead of the other 3 drivers who are currently in the championship 4, so watch out for this guy. He can literally get it done. Next up in 6th place, we have Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin has suffered so much heartbreak. 2019, he had the championship until they put too much tape on the grill. 2020, Hamlin having a great season. All of those wins just to lose to Chase Elliott and Phoenix. And then 2021, I remember at the beginning of the season, Hamlin was finishing in all these positions inside the top 10, even 11th, but couldn't even get the win. And remember, Alex Bowman taking that one away from Hamlin. Hamlin has had so much heartbreak throughout 2021 and then didn't even win the championship at the end of the season. And Hamlin right here, that one has to sting to not even make it to his 4th championship appearance in a row. That would have been his 5th all time, but he was trying to make it 4 in a row, was not able to do it. Really sucks for Hamlin in the 11 team. They had a really good car. They were class of the field. I mean, it was Elliott versus Hamlin at one point earlier in this race. Hamlin eventually took the lead. He put Byron a lap down earlier in this race and won the first stage. And then stage 2, Hamlin was just dominating, and he was able to win the second stage. And then later on throughout the race, Hamlin had some issues going his way. He lost some spots on pit road during one of the pit stops, and then lost some spots on pit road again. He had another issue because they were trying to get the left rear tire on, and that's kind of what led up to Hamlin not having the advantage like he did earlier. So it does suck for Denny Hamlin in the end. Just last second heartbreak. That's just a tough pill to swallow. So I do feel bad for Hamlin in the 11 team. I'm kind of glad we see a little bit more parity and stuff, because wow. We only have one driver in the Championship 4 who's made the Championship 4 the last 2 times, or heck, ever since NASCAR went to Phoenix for the championship, and that's Chase Elliott. So really cool to see Elliott back, and all these other drivers, but just, man, that one stings for Hamlin. Finishing 6th was Joey Logano. Joey Logano, I give him a nice little comeback for him. Finishing 6th today, had a really strong car. Logano's always good at Martinsville, no matter how you put it. But literally, I think it was at some point in stage 3, Logano had a fire in the car, like, for some weird reason. That's the second time Logano's car caught on fire this season. Caught on fire at the end of the Indy Road Course race, but it was just a little fire. Wasn't anything major. It was still able to continue and able to get a 6th place finish. So what a drive, what a finish for Joey Logano in the 22 team, competing for a championship, their 2nd title next weekend. Finishing 8th was William Byron. This driver was the guy that I picked at the beginning of 2022 to make the Championship 4 and win it. Comes up a little bit short today. Just sucks for William Byron. I mean, at the beginning of the race, he was trying to stay on the lead lap, got passed by Hamlin. He went a lap down, but he got the lead lap back, which was pretty good for him. But later throughout the race, Byron just was not competitive. Literally started 25th today. Just did not have the car to compete and go for the win. Because necessarily he didn't have to win. He just needed a pointer's way. He needed stage points, but that definitely was not the issue when you had Bell and Briscoe and Hamlin running up there going for the win and stuff. So it does suck, and it does sting for William Byron trying to get 2 Hendrick cars in the Championship 4 like it has been, like it was last year, but just wasn't enough. So it does suck for William Byron, the 2014, but there's always next year's. Just a nice finish to a season for William Byron in his young career. He still has plenty of time to make the Championship 4 and eventually get a win in the championship. Finishing 9th was Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace was the driver I kind of overlooked today, because earlier he was like running like 20th or something like that, you know, because Bubba Wallace, Martinsville, I know that's his type of track in the Truck Series, but not in Cup, but a really strong run here today for him to get a nice 10th place finish, because a lot of people expected, like, if that penalty really knocked Bubba down, Bubba would have finished like 25th or below or something like that. But for him to get a top 10 after saying like he learned his lesson, all that stuff, shows the true mentality of this driver. So really congrats to Bubba Wallace in the number 45 team to be able to get another top 10 finish. And rounding out the top 10, the driver who was in the lead of the final restart, Chase Briscoe. Another heartbreaker right here. Chase Briscoe had the lead. He had help from his teammate Cole Custer. They both put up a valiant effort to try to get an SHR car back in the championship for the first time since 2019. Just was not enough for him. I mean, Custer was helping him out and stuff. I mean, he let him in, and Briscoe had the lead, and eventually he was driving away when Hamlin and Chastain were going at it, and Keselowski and Bell were going at it. But then Keselowski and Bell, they were on the move. Bell moved Briscoe out of the way, pulling away, and then Briscoe just lost a lot of spots after that and still was able to get a top 10 finish. Just they had to win. They were in a must-win situation, especially with the incident they had at Homestead, and then just the point situation just was not enough. So does suck for Chase Briscoe in the 14, but in his second season in NASCAR, in his first playoff appearance, well done. You got to give a pat on the back, a nice round of applause for Briscoe's playoff run this season. So now let's rate this race. I was an idiot earlier this spring when I rated the Martinsville race a 7 out of 10. Probably because I fell asleep at one point and just woke up and thought like nothing happened and stuff, that I just drowsed off for like a few minutes when I actually drowsed off for a good 30 minutes. So to rate this one, it still wasn't really all that perfect. The racing could have been a little bit better and stuff. But hopefully we should make some adjustments with the car and have some better short track racing, especially right before the North Wilkesboro All-Star race next year and stuff. So hopefully we can get all that adjustment for the car. But to rate this one, it was pretty solid. The racing was a lot better. Stage 3 kind of seemed like it was going to be a little bit dry until we had that late caution come out with a late restart and all that beating and banging just to get into the Championship 4 and just to get the win here today. So in my opinion, I'm going to give this one deserves a 7 out of 10. Actually, I'm going to go and give it up a 7.3. 7.3 out of 10. It was a solid race. Martinsville is still not back to what it used to be. Well, just with this car racing on it and stuff, can be better. They just gotta make adjustments with the next gen car racing on short tracks. But solid race, 7.3 out of 10. Definitely a good one to watch, and definitely had one of the best finishes of the ages. So I'm gonna give it a 7.3 out of 10. Let me know what you guys would give it in the comment section below. So for unlucky drivers of the day, I gotta give it to Kyle Busch and Tyler Reddick. And what's weird about this image is that literally next season, these two are gonna be switching manufacturers. But anyway, I'm gonna give it to both of them because first of all, Kyle Busch, what in the hell happened? Mans was 4 laps down after the first stage. His car was terrible. And literally one of the tires, it looked terrible after he was running it. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened. Samantha Bush put some sort of message on Twitter talking about this and stuff. I don't know what happened to Kyle Busch, but I still don't even know where he truly finished. Did he still finish like P34 or something? Because Tyler Reddick and Austin Dillon both were out of the race after they had their issues. But for Kyle Busch, oh man, what a horrific race for him. He's probably just ready just to get over with. I mean, just getting ready for Phoenix just to get it over with, say his goodbyes, whatever. And then Tyler Reddick, apparently he said his head was hurting during the race because what we've heard from an RCR crew member was that after that hit that Reddick took head on at Homestead, that he wasn't really feeling well. And so I'm kind of shocked. Why would Reddick still want to continue and possibly hurt himself again? Because at Martinsville, when you're beating and banging, these guys are running into the back of you. And I'm guessing when he ran into the back of someone, it just made it worse. And then they said, just get out of the car and stuff. And he was out of the race. They were trying to look for another driver, but I don't think anyone from the Xfinity series was still there. So that was it for them. So they just parked the car. And then later, Austin Dillon took a hard hit into the outside wall in turns 3 and 4. So just a bad day for RCR, and just sucks for Tyler Reddick and Kyle Busch having those days happen to them. Because literally, Kyle Busch finished 30th. I'm surprised he even finished top 30, but he finished 30th, and then Tyler Reddick finishes dead last, 36. Does suck. Hopefully Tyler Reddick feels better. I doubt he'll be racing this weekend at Phoenix, this next weekend at Phoenix, so he just needs to rest, and we'll see him ready for the Clash hopefully in the next couple months. And then Kyle Busch, goddamn, he's ready to go to the 8 car. For comeback driver of the day, I'm going to just say Joey Logano. We didn't really have a comeback driver, but he did have a little bit of a fire go under the car. And BJ McLeod also had a fire underneath his car, but his was a whole lot worse. But he had his little bit of a fire and was able to come back from that and get a nice solid top 10 finish. So props to him and stuff. Not really a big comeback, but something at least. For underdog driver of the day, you could say Christopher Bell, but after that hell of a move he just made, Chastain, you gotta give it to him, because what in the... I still can't believe it. Because when you look at it in real time, it doesn't look like... It looks like it's sped up. It does not look real. It literally looks like a video game, but apparently that was how it was in real time. Never seen anything like that. You could probably do that with the next gen car and stuff, but with the Gen 6 car, if you try to do that, I'm pretty sure you have a flat tire like halfway around the corner. But what a move, what a day for Chastain. Definitely underdog driver of the day, and I think he's one of the biggest underdogs in the championship for him or Christopher Bell. And then for overall driver of the day, got to give it to Denny Hamlin. Got to give a nice thumbs up, pat on the back for him. He had a hell of a performance. Swept both stages. Was trying to go for a 3 sweep, but then just had 2 issues on pit road that cost him the lead. And just he couldn't compete for the win anymore because, you know, hard to pass at Martinsville and just needed to keep his playoff hopes alive. And they were crushed by a Lightning McQueen / Ross Chastain coming out of nowhere. So does suck for Denny Hamlin, the 11 team, but still had a hell of a race and a hell of a day out of the number 11 Joe Gibbs car. Well, here we go, guys. It is all came down to this. We have our Championship 4. It is set. Logano in his 5th Championship 4 appearance. He's made the Championship 4 the times. 2014, he had issues late in that one. 2016, took out Carl Edwards. 2018, he got the job, got the job done, won the title. 2020, didn't have anything, and now he's back for his 5th time. Can he go for his 2nd championship? Christopher Bell also in his 1st Cup Series championship appearance, and also his 3rd playoff appearance. Really good effort by Christopher Bell and the number 20 team. Wait, is it? No. This is 2nd playoff appearance. I'm stupid. Yeah, this is Bell's 2nd playoff appearance, and he made the Championship 4, but it's not as impressive as Chastain over there. 1st playoff appearance, and he goes all the way to the Championship 4. So cannot wait to see what Chastain can do at Phoenix next week. I feel like the drivers you have to watch out for at Phoenix are Chastain and man, I don't know. It's hard to make predictions right now, but I'll make my prediction here in a second on who's going to win the championship. I'm going to be really bold. And then next up, Chase Elliott, also in his 2nd championship appearance, he was able to make it in that final spot, +4. Just needed to have a good day, and he did. He had one of the best cars all day long. I don't know how he didn't get a top 10 finish, but still had a really good car, ran in the top 5, top 10 most of the day, and was able to get in. So congrats to these 4 drivers. We have 2 Chevys, 1 Toyota, 1 Ford, all in the Championship 4. It's kind of similar how it was to 20... was it 2020? How many? Because there's Chase Elliott. No, there were 2 Fords in that one, so I'm not sure. When was the last time we had 2 Chevys in the last year then. I don't know. Anyway, my bold prediction on who's going to win the championship, I think it's going to be Ross Chastain, because literally he ran so well at Phoenix earlier this year. So I think Chastain just has the momentum after just making it in with an unbelievable move like that, and just does it. So I think Chastain is going to win the title. He's just my bold prediction right there. Everyone else, they could make it. Joey Logano earlier this year finished, let's see, looking at the stats, Logano finished 8th at Phoenix earlier this year. Christopher Bell Christopher Bell sucked at the beginning of this season. He finished 26th. And then Chase Elliott, he finished 11th. So, and then Chastain finished 2nd in that race. So we'll see what happens. It all comes down to Phoenix next week. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, my gaming channel, my Instagram. Do all of that. I really appreciate you all. So we'll see you guys in the championship race. Have a great rest of your day. This is NASCAR Mobile 48. Peace out.